Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to gently unpack the quiet, almost invisible chemical magic that keeps our entire modern world humming. We'll take this one breathable concept at a time, looking at the fascinating chemistry and engineering that's literally hiding in our pockets, our backpacks, and our cars right now. Just take a quick second and look around you. It's highly likely you're surrounded by devices, phones, laptops, maybe even an electric vehicle parked outside. Our entire daily routine relies on having this portable source of electrochemical energy. But, we rarely stop to actually think about the incredible balancing act happening inside those sleek little cases. It's not just about creating electricity, it's about packaging it perfectly for our incredibly busy lives. There's this fundamental truth in engineering. Not all voltaic cells find commercial applications. Think about it. Any freshman chemistry student can stick two different metals into a lemon and create a small electric current. But, you can't exactly power your laptop with a backpack full of lemons, right? Transforming a chemical reaction into a battery we'll actually buy requires hitting some incredibly rigorous engineering milestones. So let's get into Section 1, Light and Mighty, packing power into our pockets. This is exactly why your laptop doesn't weigh like 20 pounds. For a battery to be commercially viable, it needs high energy density, which basically means it has to store a massive amount of energy relative to its physical size. But we also need high power density. That's the battery's ability to deliver a quick, sudden burst of power when your device demands it. A really great battery has to be both a marathon runner holding lots of energy and a sprinter ready to deliver power right on demand. And there's another absolute non-negotiable here: steady voltage. Think of a standard dry cell, which develops a potential of 1.5 volts. What engineers are constantly striving for is a flat discharge rate. If your battery's voltage constantly spiked and dropped, your sensitive electronics would just crash entirely. It has to be a smooth, super reliable stream of power from 100% all the way down to 1%. Moving on to Section 2, the endurance test, lasting through the day and the years. For secondary batteries, the rechargeable ones like the lithium-ion cells in our phones, we look at a metric called cycle life. Discharging the battery, followed by charging it back up, counts as one cycle. And this process cannot be repeated perpetually without some wear and tear. A commercial battery must have a long cycle life, meaning it can undergo hundreds or even thousands of these charging and discharging operations before its performance noticeably drops. Because let's face it, if a battery only lasted 10 charges, nobody would ever buy it. But hey, what happens when you aren't actually using the battery? Sometimes discharge reactions occur even when a device is just sitting completely still in a drawer. That's called the self-discharge rate. For a battery to have a long shelf life, meaning it actually still works when you finally take it out of the packaging months later, it absolutely must be engineered to have a remarkably low self-discharge rate. Plus, life doesn't happen in a perfect temperature-controlled laboratory. A truly commercial battery has to perform reliably, whether you're out using your phone in a freezing snowstorm or you accidentally left it on the dashboard under the hot summer sun. Some of the most advanced commercial batteries, like specific lithium cells, can operate over a massive temperature range. They can go from extreme cold all the way up to blistering heat, maintaining their efficiency without breaking down. Which brings us to Section 3, safe and practical. Playing nice in the real world. To kind of ground all these abstract requirements in reality, think about the intricate construction of a standard commercial lead-acid battery, the kind you'd find under the hood of a car. Inside, there are lead grids, spongy lead, and sulfuric acid. The chemistry is incredibly powerful, but it has to be incredibly stable, too. A commercial battery must incorporate reliable fail-safes to prevent overheating or short circuits, minimizing any risk of a hazard to us. Beyond just the internal safety stuff, there are some really grounded, practical, everyday necessities. If a battery is an absolute marvel of engineering but costs $1,000 to make, it's just not viable. The materials have to be affordable, offer a long lifespan to reduce replacement costs, require pretty much zero maintenance, and ideally feature universal compatibility so it just fits seamlessly into our lives. And finally, we absolutely have to consider the environmental impact. The scale at which we consume batteries is staggering. Therefore, commercial batteries really must strive to use materials that are as abundant and non-toxic as possible. They have to comply with strict regulatory standards to minimize environmental harm. And crucially, there needs to be clear pathways for sustainable disposal and the recycling of components at the end of the battery's life, keeping harmful chemicals from seeping out into our environment. So, what's our peaceful takeaway from all this? When you plug your phone in tonight or start your car tomorrow morning, maybe just take a second to think about the invisible magic happening inside those little power cells. Over 11 complex engineering requirements, from energy density to environmental compliance, must all perfectly align. They quietly work together, constantly bridging the gap between raw chemical energy and the uninterrupted convenience of our days. It really is just human ingenuity hiding in plain sight, isn't it? It kind of invites us to pause and wonder, what other invisible innovations have we mastered so thoroughly that we barely even notice them, quietly empowering our routines? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep wondering, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next one.